Hello everyone, it's Roscoe Prosco Gaming here, and we are here with another video. So I'm going to do a few things in this video, and first I'm going to explain why I've been gone so long. So let's start. So first things first, I hope each and every one of you are doing great. I'm doing pretty good myself. And to me, this video is stupid. Not in the way that it's like a bad idea. I do feel like I need to address this. But in the way that I already kind of made this video. I have... Oh, look, Doctor Doom. Yeah. So, I have let you guys down because the last video that I posted, I promised to you guys that I would actually, start posting more. And of course, that wasn't the case. And I feel really bad. I had another long hiatus. That doesn't excuse that I haven't, recorded, but it has been a very long couple months, very complex. And yeah, I just want to tell you guys that I'm sorry. But I'm kind of revamping my channel a little bit. It'll be different in the way that it'll still be minimalist, but I'm not gonna try to like over edit everything like I did before. Hold on. Go do full screen. Yeah, that's better. What else do I want? Yeah, I'll put that on. Okay. So, anyway. Yes, I took another long hiatus, but I'm really gonna try not to do it again. I have newfound motivation, and I think I've found out the problem, or part of the problem at least. You see, this YouTube channel, it's not meant to make money. It's not meant to do anything except entertain you and kind of give me a hobby, right? So when I try to force myself to like post a bunch and just like do this huge discipline run, it really discourages me. And I think that was my problem for a while. I've had some YouTube channels in the past. Some of them are actually still, they're not active, but they're still up. And I think I've always run into that problem, but I want to change that, honestly. Because it's not fair to you guys, it's not fair to me, because I feel like I should be treating myself better too. It's just really not fair. So, I'm gonna try to be here more. I'm not gonna put myself in a strict schedule. And I'm gonna stay minimalist. I'm gonna keep doing the style where I'm not gonna over edit. I'm not gonna make the Vine booms. I'm not gonna do anything. At most, I may just put like light music and just make the graphics a bit better in my editor, which is KindMaster, by the way. Shout out to them; they are wonderful. So yeah, but apart from that, I would also like to apologize for another thing, because part of the reason why I have been in a hiatus is because my PC broke. And it was because the PC that I had got, I guess the model of the PC had some kind of malfunction where like the disk drive or something would like kind of malfunction or break or something. So that's not fun. That really sucked. So they found that out, and I got it from Best Buy, right? So my dad went to Best Buy, and he was like talking with them, and apparently they had like barely any more stock, because I guess the RAM prices. And then they started like arguing with him, like saying they're not going to give him another one. So he like pushed for the manager. I know I'm probably making him sound like a Karen, but I think he did do the right thing. And then they finally did get him a manager, and then the manager agreed to get me a better, well, not really a better PC. It's the same, but it does have a nicer case. So once I do get that in a few months, because it will take time for them to manufacture it and everything, and transport it and everything, then I'll definitely be able to make higher quality videos. But for now, I am using my mother's laptop, and that's fine. But as you can see, my render distance isn't the highest. It's not the highest, and that's because I really didn't want it to lag. And this laptop can't really handle OBS really well. So whenever I tried to use OBS with Minecraft, it kind of just lagged out until I changed all the settings a bunch. So yeah, this is as smooth as it's gonna get, unless I am fine with pumping out like a really low quality video, which I'm not. So yeah. Anyway, let me tell you the plan for this video. Now that I told you everything that's kind of going on, and I apologized and everything, now what I'm gonna do, ooh, apple. Now what I'm gonna do is kind of just explain what I'm gonna start to do on this channel, which I think is also very important. While I look for animals, don't come after me, PETA, please. So I am going to revamp my channel. And if you're not familiar with that term, it basically means just update it. Ooh, cow. And I'm going to update it by basically, I mean, it's going to stay kind of the same. The content that I'm going to make is different a bit. They had new cow sounds, huh? Anyway, instead of just posting Minecraft, I'm now gonna try other games. A lot of games like on Steam. Some games might be like Undertale, Deltarune, God of War, and People Playground. Other ones too, but not Roblox, unfortunately. In all good faith, I cannot support Roblox. I used to play Roblox. I'm not going to talk about their controversy today, if ever, on this channel. But if you know what their controversy was, you know. But in a nutshell, the Roblox Corporation kind of was negligent to the safety of children. And they kind of got boycotted, and they're just being extremely corporatist. So, I'm not playing Roblox anymore because I just don't want to play on a highly corporatist slop platform. Like, all the games on there are just slop. So, there will no be any more Roblox, unfortunately. And I can't find any sheep. Well, that's just great. Okay. Well, anyway. So, for the types of content that I will do, I'm going to do things like story times, like I probably will do at the end of this video, or not. I don't really know. I'm just kind of recording right now. And these story times will not be from Reddit. I know a lot of YouTubers like do it from Reddit, but from my research, what I found out is that you're actually not allowed to do that, and people have gotten sued for doing that because when you write something on Reddit, you have like a copyright thing to it, so you can't. So like, other people can't just like use it without your permission. And honestly, I don't know what these other YouTubers do. I'm not trying to like call them out like that, but I'm gonna be straight with you. I'm pretty dang sure that they're not getting permission from the Redditors, right? I mean, if a Reddit post is that famous to be seen by a YouTuber, it's likely that any kind of like comment they ask saying like, "Oh, by the way, can I use this post story in my YouTube channel?" It's likely not going to be seen, and they know that, right? So I'm not calling anyone out, but I'm just not going to be doing that. I thought about it, but I just can't in my heart do that. Instead, I'm gonna be using my own story times, just from my life. They're gonna be true, of course. I'm not good at making up stuff, but yeah. Um, Another thing besides that, this channel is gonna be very minimalist. Is it's gonna be very natural. If I stutter or make a mistake or do anything, then you know what? That's fine because it's natural. And if I were to just edit it out, then that's just a burden. And that's just something that it's not true to me. And it takes more energy and resources so I can pretend to not be myself, which honestly doesn't sound too good to me. Um, I mean, I will still make shorts that are like edited and like very high quality, but again, my channel runs on motivation, not money, right? So everything that I do here is because I'm motivated to do so, not because oh, there's a zombie. Not because like I'm making money and I'm like trying to like get money off my viewers and that stuff. God. So skeletons. But yeah, so it's just very natural. This is the natural way I speak. Though, talking about audio, my mic may be kind of bad because I am using my mom's laptop, as I said. It's not like a Chromebook or anything, but it's a laptop, so yeah. Um, it might be bad. I don't know. I thought that it was decent. I mean, maybe that's just me though. But personally, I'm just gonna have to work with that for now. Um, for other things regarding the channel, um, I'm sometimes just gonna like randomly talk about stuff. Sometimes I'll just quietly play Minecraft. Sometimes I'll tell stories, as I already said. Um, Sometimes I'll just talk about my day. And sometimes I'll actually play like games like, for example, Undertale, wonderful game. I've played the neutral route. I haven't played genocide or peaceful yet. That's something that I want to do on my channel. So, for example, instead of telling a story while I'm doing that, I will be like actually reading, what it says, what the characters say. So yeah, and other than that, I may do like things like reacting to videos if they're about gaming and really really popular, or possibly doing something like I don't know, like doing a review of a game or like doing a tutorial. Um, but honestly, this minimalist style is probably how I'm gonna go for now. So yeah, but just wanted to say to you guys, I'm sorry that it's been like this. It's not fair. But yeah, that's about all. So the second part of this YouTube channel, or this YouTube video, not YouTube channel, the second part of this video, um, I wanted it to be just a random story time. Um, so I'm just gonna tell a story while I'm playing the game. I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't know how good the story is going to be, but I think that's kind of the beauty of it, you know? So, yeah. And before I get into this story, I just want to tell you guys, you don't have to subscribe. I know I used to say that, and I am, you know, kind of sad that I used to just like tell you guys, please subscribe. It'll really help me. I mean, it'll give me more motivation, right? I'll be very grateful if you guys subscribe, but I'll be just as grateful if you guys actually like watch my video. You know, I'm just trying to entertain you. I'm never gonna make money from this YouTube channel, and even if I could, I would still choose not to. Even though I would want to, I I just couldn't. I would have to like put myself on a strict schedule and everything. But yeah, so subscribe if you want to. I would be grateful if you did, but you don't have to. And if you're conflicted, just think about this, okay? I would 100 times rather you not subscribe to my channel than you feel like you're forced to subscribe to my channel. So just keep that in mind. That's an azalea tree. I think maybe I should go for it. Okay, so here goes the story time. Okay, so there was this time in 6th grade. I had this teacher. You gotta turn it a little bit down. I had this teacher. I'm not going to disclose her name, but I will say the first letter of her name, and that is B. Wasn't too far down. So Miss B, she was not really too much of a nice person. Oh yeah, I need stone. Uh, I mean, I don't really blame her because she had some like family problems that weren't her fault. Um, I'm just not placing down the right thing. She had some family problems that weren't her fault. So I'm not just gonna say, oh, she was a bad teacher because she was a bad teacher, right? So she was an academic support teacher, and I was in her class. I do have ADHD, and I get distracted quite easily. So that's what I have, right? So a few other kids were also in the class. So Miss B decided that she was going to make all of our lives hell. And the way that she did this is she was just relentlessly kind of like mean to us for some reason. I mean, maybe I'm overreacting, but she ripped into some of the kids. Like, I remember this kid, I'm not going to say his name either, but this kid, he, let's call him Jason, okay? But this kid, who I actually knew for like almost a year before 6th grade, he had like a drawing that he made after he was finished with the SOL test, which is basically like a big test that you take in school. In high school, it actually does determine whether you go to the next grade. In middle school and elementary school, it does not. So Jason, which is not his real name, by the way, drew a picture. And normally, with the rules, because I actually listened to the rules, teachers are only supposed to take away papers that kids use during the test, not after. So if they did something during the test, then the teachers had to take away the stuff. But you see, Jason, he finished the test, and then he asked Mrs. B for a paper, right? And he just drew something. I don't remember what he drew. I think it was some kind of like cartoon Sonic or something because he really likes Sonic. But after he drew it, Miss B was like, okay, give it to me. And Jason understandably didn't want to, because this kid, he knew his rights, right? He said, I don't have to give this to you. So Miss B really didn't like that someone was challenging her. So after a few times back and forth, Miss B, and she was very old, by the way. I mean, nothing wrong with being old, but she was like very old and very grumpy. So she marched over to Jason, picked up his paper, and ripped it into shreds, right? And this made Jason very, very upset. And, I felt bad for Jason. Um, he didn't deserve that from Mrs. B. And there were some other incidents. I mean, she actually made most of the kids, like, cry in that class because, like, she was just, like, so rude to them and yelled at them so much. But there was this helper teacher, at least what I call them. But they're basically like side teachers. So I don't actually remember her name. So we're just gonna call her Miss H, because I like the letter H. But Miss H was a replacement for a different side teacher, helper teacher, for Miss B, right? So Miss H came into the class, and she was there for like a few weeks. She was very, very nice, and she helped the kids a lot. But one thing about Miss B is that, oh God, she kind of has a little bit of an ego, and a little bit would be sort of a understatement, right? So she had an ego, and she didn't want anyone to challenge that ego. So she didn't like this new teacher, because this new teacher kind of like asked her questions. Miss H asked Miss B questions that Miss B couldn't really answer, because honestly, she didn't really know anything. Well, she knew some stuff, but like she pretended to know the schedule and stuff, but she really didn't know that well. So honestly, Miss B didn't really like her. So one day, Miss H asked another question to Miss B, and I guess Miss B just decided that today was the day that Miss H crossed the line. I don't know why Miss B decided that, but she did. And that's iron, right? Yeah, that's iron. So she just started like ripping into Miss H. And like, Miss H is like a grown adult here, right? And like even she sees that Miss B is being like extremely rude. Like, it's really insane, like the magnitude of rudeness that Miss B was really portraying here. So yeah, I mean, nothing really happened besides they kind of got into like a petty argument that was like still kind of silent, because no one actually wanted to have an argument around like 12-year-olds, because like obviously. But yeah, there's another story about Miss B. So me and my friend, I'm gonna call him Robert, because I do not want to disclose his name. So me and Robert were best friends. Um, Maybe not best friends by sixth grade, but best friends like in seventh grade. We were friends in sixth grade, so that was cool. And I'm still friends with him today, very good friends. But the thing is that, oh no. Well, see, that's what happens when you don't pay attention. Okay, well, time to find the azalea tree. Anyway, So, me and Robert were friends. Oh god. Okay. Me and Robert were good friends in 6th grade, and as we've already established, Miss B was pretty grumpy. So this was the end of 6th grade, around that time, and where is my stuff? I think it's down there, which is really bad because there's zombies down there. I don't understand why there has to be mobs. God, okay. Anyway, so we had this project that we were doing in the library, and the whole class was doing it, right? And this library project, I think, was about animals or something. And nobody really wanted to do it, but also no one was really complaining because it was like quite literally the end of the year. And like, if you were complaining, then like, you were just kind of like a complainer. I almost got that too. That's sad. So while we were doing this project, it was basically like we had to type on our Chromebooks, um, and we were writing on them. I couldn't get that. Okay, we were writing on them, and Miss B comes over. She waddles on over. Um, she wasn't fat or anything. That's just kind of how she walked. So she comes on over, and she looks at the way we're writing it. Me and Robert, which is normal. It's exactly how we were supposed to write it. And she says, "Hey, you can't write it like that. That's not how you're supposed to write it." And me and Robert were like, Miss B, that is kind of how we're supposed to write it. That's how we were told. Uh, and Miss B was like, "No, I'm telling you how to write this right now, and you're gonna write it like this." And she put bullet points on our um, Chromebooks, which is not what we were supposed to do. So at this point, me and Robert were pretty tired of Miss B's shenanigans, so we kind of just decided to ignore her by just complying with what she said. But then as soon as she left, we basically just changed it back because obviously we didn't want to get in trouble because we wrote it the wrong way. So then, like 20, maybe 15 minutes later, Miss B comes back, because of course she does, and she starts complaining again. She says, "Hey, I told you to write it this way, and you didn't listen to me." So she's mad, right? That's a problem. Why? I almost got it. God. Anyway, so Miss B comes back over, and she starts arguing with us. She says, "That's not how I told you to write it." And then me and Robert say, "But that is how our English teacher told us how to write it." And Miss B is like, "I don't care. I don't care. You have to write it like this." So me and Robert were planning on doing the same exact thing that we did before. Where's the tree? But instead of doing that, we decided to kind of like push back a little bit more, which was really good idea because then at like the last second, like the library teachers and our English teacher like came to our table because they heard like, oh god, they heard Miss B like relentlessly arguing. Oh my god. I didn't just find it, did I? Wait, this What, where? Ah! Okay. Whoa. Okay. Where is it? Where? Okay. Oh, God. Oh, my God. That actually scared me. Oh, my God. Run. Actually run. Dude. Oh, God. Oh, that's so embarrassing. No. No. I'm gonna hide. Anyway, as I was saying, um, the teachers came by and they started arguing back with Miss B, and they started going, "Hey, Miss B, they're right. You're not supposed to like tell them to write it a different way." And then Miss B, I guess like she gets really mad, because again, ego, and she says, "I'm done with this," and then she says, a bad word under her breath, and then she waddles away, um, and then like, so, yeah, there's actually a lot of stories of it, but a lot of them happen to like people who I actually like really respect, and I wouldn't just talk about them. Oh my God. I wouldn't just like talk about them like that. So, yeah, I'm not just gonna like talk about them, but yeah, that is basically the whole story. Um, Stories about Miss B, basically. Um, I do want to see where that thing is though, because curiosity killed the cat, but I'm not a cat. Stop following me. Okay, I'm gonna die. Okay. Great. This is great. Oh my God. Oh my God. Can I at least see the creaking? Oh my God, there's a horde of zombies. Dude. Okay, half a heart. Really, bro? Kill me! Oh, okay. Well, that was fast. Okay, guys, well, thank you for watching my video. Really appreciate that. Um, I hope I get some views on this video, honestly. Um, but yeah. So, I'm sorry that I've been absent for so long, but I hope you enjoyed. I'm going to try to upload more. And yeah, if you guys want to leave some comments, please tell me if you like the story time thing. Tell me like what you actually like. Tell me if you want any improvements. And if you're comfortable with it, I could even like talk about your comments in the next video. So yeah. Okay. Thank you guys. Bye.